Hi, welcome to my studio. My name is Jenn Avery and I'm a gourd artist. Today I would like to introduce you to the wonderful world of gourds. The first gourds I made were just for fun. I gave them away to family and friends as gifts. I had no intention at the time to set aside my canvas for these dried vegetables. What fascinated me initially was that many cultures use gourds on a daily basis, both historically and even today. In addition to that, just about any medium, of art medium to carving to even fiber art, can be used on gourds. And plus, just about anything you can think of can be made from a gourd. For example, birdhouses, accessories like masks, purses, hats, lamps, even musical instruments. It's amazing to see what can be made from gourds. The gourds I make most often are bowls, vases, ornaments, and the occasional purse. Okay, now we're over here in my gourd closet. This is where I store a lot of my overflow gourds. We gourders tend to collect gourds. And also I have some of my class gourds stored in here because I also teach workshops, and my finished gourds I have packed away are also in here. So also packing materials and stuff for when I sell something online. This is where I pack stuff up too. So I wanted to show you a little bit of the variety of gourds. It's not an exhaustive variety, but it is kind of smattering of what kinds of different gourds are out there. And I'll start with a nice big kettle gourd. This is a kettle. And we'll contrast that with a tiny little Tennessee spinner. So this one is frequently used for jewelry. And this one is good and thick. So this will be really nice for carving. Here's ones that are very aptly named: an egg gourd and a banana gourd. The egg gourds are what I use for ornaments. You can see I like to have some smaller pieces available. A lot of these are named basically for what their shape looks like. Apple gourd, canteen. So if you can think of an old-fashioned canteen, you know, it would have a strap and a hole at the top with a cork, and people would wear it like at their side and they could drink out of it. A bottle gourd, cannonball, this one is a Copper Canyon. I'm not sure why it's called that, but it's a nice shape. And this one is a milk bottle gourd. It's really nice for making vases out of. And this one's really fun. This is a extra long handled dipper. Barely fits in the screen. What's cool about these is that you can actually tie their necks in a knot while they're growing. It's pretty cool. So back out here, this is my workspace and the gourds that I am currently working on at different stages of development. Some of them are just cut and I have no idea what I'm going to do with them yet, because usually if I'm going to cut one, I'm going to cut open a few. I put sticky notes on some of these if I know what I want to do, but I'm not ready to work on it and I don't want to forget. I do keep a sketchbook, so I do keep those ideas in there, but sometimes I like to put a sticky note on it just to be doubly sure that I remember. This gourd is still being worked on. I have some of the burning done. I still have more to do on it. I've yet to color it, and if you can see that there's holes on the top rim, I do plan on putting a basket weave top on it. This gourd, this one is also still in the process of being worked on. As you see the X's on there, I'm going to be carving those out. I still have to color the butterfly, and those holes are also going to have a different kind of rim treatment on top. This one I haven't started yet, but I am, as you see by my sticky note, it's coming up next. And this one too, it's a nice tall vase where I have planned to do some humpback whales, and I have some carving yet that I need to work on. So it's going to have humpback whales all the way around it, so I have them just sketched on, and I will be burning on that as soon as I get a chance. I also have some different weaving materials on the wall here. Now let me show you the process of gourding, beginning with a seed and ending with a piece of art. I usually start my seeds somewhere around mid-April, and what I do is I place them inside these containers on top of seed warming mats, and they are also inside these paper towels. These are wet paper towels. They get a little discolored after a couple of days, but as you can see, these have not sprouted, but these are ready to be put into pots. Fast forward about 2 weeks, and these are the seedlings that I have growing under lights in my garage. Let's see the lights here. And these oblong leaves are the first leaves that come out. And then this is the first true leaf. Most of these have one and a second one starting, and once they have 4 true leaves, then they'll be ready to be planted outside. Okay, it is close to 100 degrees out right now, but I really want to show you my gourd patch and some new baby gourds that I have just now starting to come in. It's now the end of June, and this is what my baby plants look like. They're getting bigger. In a couple of weeks, this whole hill is going to be completely full. Okay, so this is what I wanted to show you. These are the hardshell gourd blooms. They have white flowers, and they will open up at nighttime. The ornamental gourd flowers are yellow, so those are the brightly colored ones that you would normally see. Also the egg gourds that I use for ornaments are also yellow. Now this here is a baby gourd. So as you can see, it has a little bit of a bulb at the bottom. So I think this is the beginnings of a basketball gourd, which will get to the size of a basketball. And these are the male flowers. So you can see the difference of what they look like. This one is already dying off. That's why it's kind of turning brown. But this will open up tonight. There's also some other ones just starting. These will probably be a couple nights before they open up. So what I do in the evening is I will hand pollinate these. So once these open up, I will take some of the pollen that will be inside. So you can see a little bit there that there's pollen inside there. And I can use a small paintbrush to take some of that pollen off and put it inside here. And then it will be fertilized, and that will grow into a gourd. If I did nothing and did not hand pollinate them, then I'm not really guaranteed to have as many gourds. The cucumber beetles, which are a pest, they're kind of a pest, but they kind of are also beneficial in the fact that they will pollinate the gourds So do moths, because they fly around at night. They also pollinate them. But I feel it's just better to hand pollinate. That way I'm guaranteed to get a better crop of gourds. Here are some fully grown gourds. They will stay on the vine until the first frost or until the vines die off. I keep them outside on pallets to dry through the winter. They will lose their green color and they'll mold and brown as they dry. And this is last year's crop that are still drying. I didn't have a lot of big gourds last year, but these are my egg gourds, and I got about 300 of them. They are still in the process of drying, and as you can see, all the interesting patterns, that is from the drying of the skin. As they lose all the water and evaporate through the shell, you'll get all these interesting patterns, which will eventually get washed off, and some of it will actually stain the shell, and you'll see some of those mold patterns. And this is what I make my ornaments from. In the spring, it will be time to give the gourds a bath. They sure do look beautiful after the old dried skin and mold is washed off. This gourd is now ready to be crafted. Okay, so now I'm in the gourd cutting shed. This is where I do all my cutting and my carving. I want to keep that out of the house. Gourd dust is very, very fine, and you don't want that really floating around your house. So if you're going to do any cutting and carving, I suggest, if you don't have a well-ventilated area to work in, take it outside. For a long time, that's what I did, is just did all my carving and cleaning outside. These gourds are already dried. They are cleaned. They are ready to go, ready to be cut open. So I thought I would walk you through how I cut open gourds. I usually do a few at a time. If I'm going to come out here and do it, I might as well get a few done. So I already penciled in some guidelines for cutting. And the most important thing is that you're going to start cutting and carving gourds is safety. I already have this very stylish apron on to try to keep some of that excess gourd dust off. I'll be using a respirator to protect my lungs, and a face shield for my eyes. And if I was going to be doing carving for a long time, I would also be wearing ear protection. For this little jigsaw that I'm going to be using, it's not very loud, and I won't be using it for very long, so I won't be wearing the earmuffs right now. But anytime I do power carving, I will be wearing them. So this is it's a Microlux jigsaw. I love this little guy. It's just a little hobby jigsaw, and it's perfect for cutting open gourds. I'm going to show you how it works. So now the next thing I need to do is clean out the insides, and I wanted to show you how different the gourds can look on the inside. So this is all the dried pulp and dried seeds that you're going to find inside each one. So this is all very loose in here, but sometimes you get a gourd like this one where it's all tightly impacted in there, and sometimes it'll all be like in one compacted ball that'll rattle around in there. And actually those are my favorite ones to clean. because you just lift the whole ball out and all you have to do is sand the inside. Now to clean these out, the easiest thing to do is grab what you can and pull it out and throw it away. But then we also have tools to get some of the real stubborn stuff out of the sides. And so these are some little handy gourd scraping tools that you can buy. And this is actually just a melon baller that works really well because it has a little bit of a sharpened edge on it. And these are some handmade ones that are actually just sharpened washers on the end of some handles. Okay, one gourd done. It's all cleaned and sanded on the inside, and I think it looks pretty good. My next step is to finish cleaning these guys out and sanding them as well. And then to finish the inside, I will be putting weights in the bottom and then painting it. I'm back in the studio again, and now I am working on burning my gourd. So the technique that I predominantly use is called pyrography. It literally means pyro, which is fire, and graphy, which is writing. It's just another fancy word for wood burning, except I'm using it on a gourd, so it doesn't make sense to say that it's wood burning, if that makes sense to you. So anyway, here I am working on this owl. I already penciled in my design of the great horned owl with a Celtic knotwork border. And I am using a pyrography shading pen on a pretty low heat, and it's just a matter of building up the color until I get the effect that I want. It is a fairly slow process, but I really enjoy it. For me, it doesn't really tax my patience. It seems like the time just goes by really quickly. I enjoy just watching the piece take shape as I keep layering these values and watching it deepen and change. But for your benefit, we're going to speed things up just a little bit. Otherwise, this video is going to be very, very long. Now this gourd is almost finished. The only thing I have left to do is put some kind of a rim on top. I could leave it plain, but I already decided that I had wanted to do a rim. And as you can see, I have holes drilled in the top. And this one, what I'm going to do is longleaf pine needle coiling. And these are the pine needles. They're about 9 inches long on average. And I'm going to be stitching that around the rim of the gourd. It's going to give it just a nice finished look. These pine needles have been soaked in water for several hours just to make them pliable, and I'll be adding them one at a time over each hole, stitching them around the gourd. I'm back in the shop again, and if you remember this piece from earlier, it was sitting on my shelf waiting to be worked on. I'm going to do a little bit of carving today, and as you see, I have some of the carving already done, and I'm just going to work on this side today, so I thought I'd just give you a little demonstration of carving. And now I am doing a different kind of rim treatment. This is leather lacing that I'm going to braid and weave around this gourd. So you'll see another way that I like to finish off the rims of gourds. Well, that about wraps it up. Thank you for joining me on this studio tour. If you would like to learn a little bit more about gourds, or if you would just like to get in contact with me, or if you'd like to see my online calendar, my online gallery, or sign up for my newsletter, you can visit my website. I'll put the link in the description down below. It is www.jragourdart.com. And also I have a YouTube channel, which I will also put the link down below if you would like to see some more of my videos on gourd craft. So thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, I would really appreciate you giving me a thumbs up, and subscribe if you'd like to see some more. I really enjoyed this studio tour. I hope you did too. So have a gorgeous day.